Hello there and welcome to the QNB Stars League preview show as we look ahead to all 6 matches in Week 5 in the company of former English Premier League players Nick Summerby and Chris Makin. Last week in Week 4 we had 26 goals and goals of the highest quality. I wonder what lays in store in Week 5. Chris Makin.
27 wonderful goals heading our way. It was so difficult last week to pick the top 3 goals. It made it very difficult for us. We want the same again this week.
And Nick, are you like me getting a little bit of a feeling that there could be maybe 3, 4, 5 teams fighting it out for the league title?
Well, this weekend we have, I'm really looking forward to seeing it as well, is Salih and Salal. Wow, by the way, they could cause a problem as well, and they've got big games as well this weekend. De Gea and Ryan, so I think we look at those two and hope that they do well.
All right then, before we look ahead to each match, let's head over to Shaden Watan, who is going to tell us how they line up for Week 5 and remind us of the league standings after 4 rounds.
Thanks, Rodri. So after Week 4, Al Duhail and Al Sadd managed to stay on top of the QNB Stars League in first and second place respectively with 12 points. Salal are in third place with 10 points, Al Rayyan in fourth place with 9 points, the same as Al Siriyah, and Al Gharrafa wind up number 6 with 5 points. In the bottom half is Al Khor with 4 points, Qatar Sports Club and Al Arabi in 8th and 9th place with 3 points, Al Kharaitiyat and Al Ahli each with 1 point, and Al Markhiyah remain in last place with 0 points. So this is how they line up for Week 5. On Thursday the 19th, Al Kharaitiyat will face Al Gharrafa at 19:35 Doha time. On Friday the 20th, Al Siriyah is up against Al Rayyan and Al Khor faces Al Markhiyah both at 17:25. The QNB Stars League derby between Al Arabi and Al Sadd kicks off at the Grand Hamad Stadium at 19:35. Salal will face Al Duhail in the 5th round at the Al Gharrafa Stadium on Saturday at 17:25, while later on Qatar Sports Club will face Al Ahli at 19:35.
Thank you, Shaden. First up, it's Al Kharaitiyat versus Al Gharrafa. We do say it every week, Nick and Chris, that Al Kharaitiyat haven't really carried on from where they finished last season. Let's just remind ourselves straight away, the only goal in their defeat last weekend, but nevertheless against Al Siriyah, this was a great goal, and this is what we like to see from them, Chris.
He's some goal. He had a great ending to the season last year, Tibba Kaneen. He started off strongly, he has that partnership with Dibba, who's in the picture there as well. And that seems to be really the only hope at the moment, is that partnership between those two. If they can get those two firing, then they have a chance of maybe getting a positive result. I don't know whether they can beat Gharrafa, sorry.
How do you feel about him, Al Kharaitiyat?
I said last week, I feel that they're strong enough to get out of the situation what they're in because of how well they did last season. Look at the team they're playing against Gharrafa. I think we were having a go at them a couple of weeks ago. Wonderful performance in their last game as well. It's just they need a victory. They need to get the 3 points, keep it solid at the back, and hopefully that the likes of Tibba Kaneen and start scoring the goals, which I think he will do. He's a top quality player, but they need that victory. It's all right talking about it. The more and more it goes on, it's in the mind, you see. So.
And nobody would agree with you more than Al Kharaitiyat's Mehdi Al Khamasi.
We trained very well this week, and Gharrafa is a big team, of course, but it's a motivation for us to play better and to give our best. And we hope we're gonna get the 3 points in this game. We really need the points. It's a must for us to do it.
We really need it. It's a must. It's obvious, really, isn't it? As you said, Nick, let's look at the opposition. Al Gharrafa, Nick, in Week 4, they're starting to look good. Weiss is back. He seems to be the central figure. Yeah, but they're causing all sorts of problems.
A wonderful cross as well. We've been waiting for him to step up. Now, this is Amado. I don't think he's had the best of starts, but he looked good now. He looked like he was a lot more forward and getting up the pitch. And obviously, you've seen him score goals as well. But this boy's back playing for them. Weiss, wow, and there's a difference. He's lifted the whole club. And they're back where they really should be. Now they can start looking up and trying to crack on. The confidence is back in the club. Good performance this was.
Yeah, it is nice to see Weiss back. Both Nick and Chris always wanting to see players running at the opposition. And this is what he thrives on, Chris.
He's probably the best at the league at this. He gets the ball out wide and just takes off, drives inside, has the ability to go past people. Very good.
I tell you what, I've decided to pick it out as well as seeing the goals going in. Both of you, in our analysis, picked him out and just discussed his impact. Let's just talk us through the impact of Weiss. Nick, you can fire off if you want.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what we're used to seeing in the modern day football now is teams playing like Barcelona. A lot of passing, great, but, you know, someone's got to hurt. Someone's got to get at the defence, and this guy does it. You know, he's looking forward, he's looking to commit. You know, and when you see something like this, it's like a breath of fresh air. Once he gets the ball again, now, look, there we go, one-on-one. You know, I'm taught, I used to play as a winger. If you're on a one-on-one, you've got to go and attack your full-back or whoever's in front of you. And this is what can happen. You know, it's great with the football, but eventually you've got to have, I mean, look straight away now, just watch him pushing forward straight into the space there, and it opens up, getting on the outside as well. You know, and that's what people watch football for, because he's, you know, he's exciting. All of a sudden it opens up for the rest of the team.
It opens up. Has Jon Fernandez then found the key to unlock Al Garrafa this season? Are you convinced yet, Chris?
I feel a little bit better about the chances after watching last week, because they're getting numbers in the box now. Every time they attack, they had two or three yellow jerseys attacking the opposition box. OK then,
so we'll have the prediction for this one. I will stay with you, Chris. First of all, who is it? Is it Kherratiat or Garrafa?
Al Garrafa 2-0.
Nick?
2-1 Kherratiat.
OK, thank you very much, gentlemen. Next, it's Al Saleh versus Al Rayyan. You know, we all have our favourites. We shouldn't have our favourites. We love them all. But Al Saleh, I think I've got a little soft spot there. Let's have a look at the goals in that victory against Al Kherratiat in week 4. Chris, thoroughly enjoyable.
And they're looking good going forward now. And the man in your picture there, Timur and Wagner, have made a big difference. Wagner's gone there. You know, he did OK at the previous clubs, but he looks like a real player at Al Saleh for some reason. You know, maybe he's getting an arm around the shoulder from Coach Trabelsi, but you know, he's had an effect on the football club. This is a really difficult volley to keep down. Really great technique shown by Wagner there. And listen, you look at his body language; it's totally different. He's enjoying his football now. And Al Saleh, they've had the perfect start. Really, they've only dropped 2 points. They're good going forward. And it's done in a world of given them a world of confidence, hasn't it?
I wonder how far they can go this season. 2013-14 was the season where they really shone and came fourth, got to the final of the Emir Cup. We all remember that. Can they match that this season?
This is going to be one of the tests. You know, they've earned the right from playing as well as what they've done up to now. They're unfortunate against Al Sadd. They could have got a draw out of that, but. I don't think they've been tested in defensively. I mean, that was the problem last season. They're going to get tested in this game, but I think they're okay going forward as well. So it's about getting the happy medium. Is how they're going to set it. I don't think they can go all guns out, but if they keep it solid, don't give any goals away, they can score goals against a Rayyan what's not as strong as what it was at the start.
Stats have given us a wonderful statistic. There it is. Al Saleh, who wants to worry about defence? Shot conversion rate, shot accuracy. I pulled out the top 3 here. Al Rayyan, top of the tree, 26% there, 62% in the shot accuracy. Who's number 3? Al Duhail. Who's sitting in number 2? Al Saleh. That kind of statistic, Chris Makin, has got to cheer up Sami Trabelsi and think, hang on a minute, I'm onto something this season.
Well, it just backs up what we've just been saying about them being a very attack-minded team. Listen, the more shots you're going to have on target, or the more shots you have in the game, the more chance of hitting the target. 51%, just behind Al Rayyan. So surprised they're above Al Duhail, by the way.
How could Duhail be at the bottom?
I don't know. I'm trying to make...
Don't ask me. Stats.
It's there, though. It's there.
They got the statistics. I just put them in.
That's impressive.
Sorry, that's based on week... that's based on the
just
last
one week?
Yes.
Oh, right. I thought it was over the last month.
Duhail won about... They scored a hat load, didn't they?
I don't know how they work it out. Don't argue with me.
Rodders.
Speak for yourself.
So we need it to be fast. They won 6-1. And they're bottom.
I'll tell you what, listen. This weekend, though, could be the real test for Sami Trabelsi. Let's hear from Sami Trabelsi.
I think it's a very important game if you like to play in the 4 top. we need to win team who playing every time or every season for the top 4. This is it's good game against a big team. Sure, they have a lot of good player, but us, we have quality now. We have good player too. We play to win. We don't play to draw or to lose. I think we must go to the field with the mentality to win, and we can do it. I hope.
He will hope, and they're up against Al Rayyan. Let's not forget how they had a good week, Nick, in week 4. It was a good victory over Al Marhia, but are you convinced yet? That was Hamad Allah, of course, starting this week, and he showed what he can do right from the beginning.
Yeah, great start to the game for them. If anything, it was too easy for them getting the goal as early as what they did. They took the foot off the gas. You know, Marquet had some fantastic opportunities, by the way, but they were always in control. It'll be a different thing altogether now. This game, the next game against Alier, but the quality's there. A bit of luck there, by the way, because Marquet had started getting back into the game, you know, to make it 2-0, but it was comfortable for them. But are they playing as well as what we saw in the first couple of games? No, but they probably need a little bit of better opposition, which they're going to get against Alier. But I still think they're too strong for Alier anyway. This boy Tabata, when he comes on, got to say as well, he changes everything. He's so much, his enthusiasm rubs off on everyone. And what do? He makes something difficult there, puts it away first time, makes it look easy, and he raises. You know, this guy's just had an operation, straight back on the pitch, and they need him. But it's another good performance by them.
Do you still feel there's more to come, though, Chris, from Al Rayyan?
Yeah, but I think they'd have to play Sabata, Hamadella and Sebastian all together to get that performance. Whether Mr. Laudrup has to jiggle his squad about to get this under-23 player in takes that selection headache away from him sometimes, but you got Mutuali as well. I'd love to see them 4 play for Rayyan. I think they give anyone at a game.
I'll tell you something, sorry to interrupt, is the next game is Al Sadd. And what we're going to find out there is, are they going to play those key players? He's playing them now, so in a big game, that's the question mark for me.
Well, let's hear from Al Rayyan head coach Michael Laudrup. Where does he think they are?
In the league, we want to close that gap, because between us and the two, Al Sadd and Duhail, there was a big gap last year. And the years, in most of the years, but that we want to make smaller and smaller. But of course, we would like to go to win for a title this year in some competition. We are in 2 or 3 cup competition, and then a part of that we also have the Champions League.
Is he pulling himself back of the title race a little bit here?
I think, Chris, do you think they've got a stronger squad than when they won the league?
I think they've got the strongest squad in the league now.
Yeah, but do you think, if you look at their title contenders for us 3, aren't they?
But do you think, he's saying, do you think he's just withdrawing a little bit?
He's not giving a lot away there, to be honest with you, because for us, they have to be in it. They've got to with the squad they've got, but he's not. He's now turning and saying, well, hang on, we've got to just make that gap a little bit shorter than what it was, which is, he's just probably playing it down.
Is he lowering expectations, or
I don't
intentionally?
know. We can look into it in many ways. But we'll move on. The prediction then. Al Salia versus Al Rayyan. Nick, you can go first this time.
3-1 Rayyan.
Chris.
3-2 Al Rayyan.
Okay. Next. Al Khor versus Al Marhia. Right, to tell you what, we'll start. We'll just talk first of all about Al Khor. Chris. Sorry, we're talking about something different here. Let's look at Marhia. Marhia, this was the only goal against Al Rayyan.
Yeah.
I put it in there because it was a bright spot and important always to get a goal, to give a player like Carey confidence.
It's his first goal of the season, so as a centre forward, you need those goals. You live off the goals. They showed me and Nick a lot in that game, enough to suggest that, you know, attacking-wise will be okay. They have Traoré on the left, Carey making those runs. You've got Salah, who started on the bench. Got a feeling Salah might start in this game. offensively, they've got enough there to trouble Alcor this weekend.
OK, I'm going to pick out the Traore crosses now. Both of you looked at them in the review show. This is what Traore offers, Nick, and this could be key for them this weekend.
It doesn't get any better than this for me. They've obviously worked on the training pitch. He's outside on. Look, he's right on this left-hand side, and he has a wand of a left foot. You know, this is what it is. He's going to get it. He's going to get the ball out of his feet, and he's going to whip it in where Carey should be, getting across that near post. There's his first touch. He set himself up nicely. The delivery's perfect. Carey's perfect position, but he just needs the slightest of touches, and it doesn't get any better. It's right off the training ground. That really, they should have done better. Once again, this is what they're looking out for. Keep doing this. I love it, the switch of play. There he is again, out there in acres of space. Get it out of his feet. This boy can deliver. He's really, when we watch him now, we thought, wow. You know, and there again. Same thing again, Carey. He's got his first goal now. Does everything right then, but doesn't hit the target. That's something on the training pitch just for him. Keep getting the ball out your feet, whipping it in, and practice. Just all he's got to do is hit the target because the power and the pace is on the pass. But they're positive, Sam.
They're positive, but they've still got no points. OK, so this is a pressure now. We're into week 5. Alcor against them. What can you say about Alcor? I find it difficult to put my finger on it with Alcor, really. I mean,
Glad you said that.
Well, I
the
do.
same problem.
You know, we see some performances, and you know, Madson's always there, and he always provides us with something. But against some, you know, for them, Alcor have to look at this as a game they're going to win.
Well, David Silva's been dropped from the squad, so
yeah,
who's going to take that central striking role? Madson's had a great start to the season, by the way, scoring goals. You know, he's creating stuff. Alcor, you've got to look at this. This is a massive, massive game. To beat Al here, another fabulous 3 points for Alcor. They've already beaten Al Akli. You know, there's a big chance to get 3 points on the scoreboard.
OK, Chris, we'll start with you then and get the prediction. Alcor versus Marquia. What do you think?
I'll go 2-2.
Ah, interesting. Nick?
I'll go for Marquia 1-0.
OK, next up, Al Arabi versus Al Sadd. OK, we'll start with Al Arabi. Nick, what's happening there? What's Kais Jacobi? What's he going to do?
No, well, all of a sudden you think they've turned the corner, and then they go and get a big defeat in the last game. This might help them because it's obviously, for example, Kalfan goes up against his ex-side. Do I fear for them? Yeah, in this game because Al Sadd have hit form and Bunja's back. They're going to need something. The pressure's really on them, you know, because it's the same old story really with Al Arabi. You think, well, hang on a minute, here we go, they're going to get going, and then all of a sudden they get a bad defeat. So the pressure's on. Do I think they're going to get anything? No, not at all. So
well, let's see why, Chris. Let's look at Al Sadd's goals from week 4. Yeah. We're not seeing the one they conceded here, so we're just seeing the Al Sadd goals. It was a 3-1 win against Qatar Sports Club. Yeah. But the touches and glimpses of what we know of Al Sadd when they're at their best.
Well, if you look at the 3 goals, every goal is fantastic, by the way. They were tested by Qatar Sports Club. It wasn't as easy as the scoreline suggests. The second half introduction of Bunja was key because he comes on and he starts. There's something about his body language that if I was playing with him, I'd want to kill him. But he sparks something off and he seems to get the best out of all the other players. I don't know whether it's because he makes them angry and they want to play better. Some people have that effect, but he came on and it looked like the Al Sadd of old where they're creating really, really good clear-cut chances. I love Beneja. I love the effects he has at that football club.
OK, well, it all points to what could be a very difficult night for Al Arabi. So, Nick, why don't you have the first prediction here? Al Arabi versus Al Sadd.
4-1 Al Sadd.
OK, Chris?
3-0 Al Sadd.
Right. Next up, Salal versus Al Duhail. Right. Salal. Well, this arguably is the game of the weekend. I'm sorry, Al Sadd and Al Arabi fans. That's the big derby match, of course, but this could be a key match. Remember, Salal upset the apple cart a little bit last season. Chris?
I'm so interested in this game. If Salal sets up how they have done and go forward and get Sagbo further up the pitch, I'll be very surprised if they do that for this game.
Really?
Yeah, I can see the Hill getting the majority of the ball at the back. and everyone retreating behind the halfway line.
Interesting. Okay, let's have a look at Salal's goals from week 4. This is them going forward, Nick.
Yes, and we've got to say, look at the first touch here now from Pejman. You know, we're talking about Mawas, Pejman and Sagbo. And they are very good going forward, solid as well. I don't think they could have a better match before playing the game what they're going to play against De Gea to give them confidence. You know,
when that cross goes in there now, there's about 4 or 5 black shirts in your picture. Are they going to do that against De Gea?
I tell you what they're going to do. You know, they will start off with everyone behind the ball with Sagbo, but they will push forward. And don't kid yourself. I don't think Mendes is playing it this week.
Correct.
You know, and I tell you something with them. When they go forward, don't think they're just going to leave Sagbo on his own. They'll attack forward. And as the game goes on, they're that clever. You know, the way they set up first is as the game goes on and they frustrate, they will come into the game. I'm telling you, that's when they're a threat. They will send people forward. Yeah. You know, when I say Sagbo up front on his own, don't think that he's going to be isolated. They will have people forward because this guy here now, Mawas as well. This guy here now is on fire. Played Premier League. He's, you know, to him it's nothing this game now. So he wants to prove it against the
both
best.
scored a hat-trick last week, didn't they?
I know.
El Arabi
and Sagbo.
It sets up beautifully.
And Riley, the new signing there. Chris, you're impressed with him.
Yeah, but like we said before, the 2 central defenders are going to get tested because no one plays football offensively like Al De Gea.
Which is what we're going to come to now. Who was talking about Salal there? That was you. You can talk about Al De Gea because what's interesting here is the point you made there. How will Salal set up is what Chris said. You know, will they be like that? He doubts it. They could be more defensive. What we know for sure is that Al De Gea will play something like this. Isn't that right?
Scoring a bucket load of goals. I love the way Balmadi doesn't back down from any team in the league. Whoever they're playing, Al Sadd, Al Rayyan, Al De Gea sets up one way. They have conviction in the way they play. I love the way they've gone with 2 attacking fullbacks now, so it's even more attacking options. No wonder they're scoring so many goals.
At the beginning of the season, weren't we talking about how they're going to improve their defence? Let's say, put that in the bin.
I'm worried about it. They haven't worried about it, have they? No, they've improved it. They brought Mendes in.
Yeah. He's injured now.
I've just seen Dame there. Dame's back in there. But listen, he answered it perfectly. He's not so much interested in that. It's about what they do going forward. And they're up against a team, if they show enough courage, can test it. And we can have a look at, you know, that's where the question marks are, if any, for De Gea. So, you know, can they? They've got the forward line to do it.
How good is he, Balmadi? Because at the start of the season, before the season started, we looked at De Gea and said, right, they had a bit of a tricky time defensively last year. So obviously, we're thinking they're going to shore up here. What defenders are they going to bring in? Well, what have they gone with? Mendes, who's like a quarterback, who passes like a midfielder. Massive stroke, by the way. And he's put his 2 wingers, Afif and Ishmael, as fullbacks. So they've gone even more attack-minded. So he's just turned it on a sixpence, hasn't he? Rather than saying defensively, let's get a couple of stoppers in there, they just go the other way.
Let's have a throwback time. How did Salal upset them last season? Because that was a key game. That they caused Lechuya a problem, and that's what threw the title race into disarray at the time, and it did. Because nobody expected it. What did they do that they can look back on and go, well, hang on a minute, we sorted them out last season?
I'll tell you what they do is because they frustrate teams, but they know how to do it properly. They know how to get people behind the ball and be effective with it, and niggly and aggressive. You know, out of anybody else in the league, these are one of the worst teams. They tread in on you. They make it hard. It's not pretty with them, and that's what they do. But then they can affect it going forward. They are exceptional with that. But just going back to Balmadi, then quickly, he has to be in for a shout when the 2022 is here to be there or thereabouts manager, because what he's done in his record internationally as well. I'll tell you something, he has to be there. Forget about bringing big names in just for the show. This guy's on course for that for me. To go back again and be the manager.
Interesting. Salal then, Al De Gea. Chris, you can go first with a prediction here.
Ooh, you've stunned him. He's stunned for the...
Just put him under pressure.
I've never seen him then. He went like that.
Oh, so he grows out. I forgot about the scores. Al De Gea to win. I'll go 3-2.
Ooh, 5 goals in the game. Nick, rather.
You've gone as well, haven't you? 2-2.
2-2.
That's 2-2.
Thank you. Finally, Qatar Sports Club versus Al Ahly. Right, Qatar Sports Club. Let's show you the goal. We'll straight off with that one against Al Sadd in the 3-1 defeat. But it was a very good goal, Chris, and it really was part of a very good performance, as you've already said.
They played well. They gave it a good go against Al Sadd. This, like we said about Al Khor before, and Al Markiyah, this is a big game because Qatar have just been promoted. Al Ahly are having the best of times. This is one of those games where you look at it before you play the game, you think 3 points here, you rise up the league, and it keeps the opposition down there. Massive game for both sides.
Now then, Qatar Sports Club, we've pulled out this from Stats, who've given us Ali Mohamed Jassimi, Qatar Sports Club, player rating for fullbacks. Now, we talked about this last week. Player rating means everything that's expected of a fullback. Your area down back there somewhere. Chris, what's expected of a good fullback?
Well, come on. From when I played or when they play now? It's different now.
Different. I know it's different.
They play like wing-backs.
They play wing-backs.
I would assume crosses.
Yeah.
Now, runs forward, is that part of the remit?
Yeah.
Sprints.
Yeah.
Sprints forward and back. I wouldn't say about defensively or tackles.
Right, OK. So the point is, absolutely, all included. Well done. His rating, 89. Well, hang on a minute. 89.4. That was the second highest in the league last weekend, OK? The second highest in the league was from Qatar Sports Club, Ali Mohamed Jassimi.
So obviously he didn't do a lot wrong.
Who was first?
That's the question I want.
There's another thing coming down now, isn't there?
No, I knew you'd ask that. The first was Al Gharafa's Diogo Amado. Now, I'm confused with that one because I forget, but that's how they're playing him, I think, as far as I understand.
Amado?
Yes.
Who got number one again?
No, Amado scored the goal, put a ball through to
No, I know, but in the player rating, Amado was the highest.
Why didn't we put him up as number one then, before?
Because we're talking about Qatar Sports Club. Well, just something a little bit different,
if Amado's above him, it's a very high score, and they haven't done a lot wrong, have they?
No, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
We haven't got a photo of Amado, have we?
Yes, we do. Right, and then up against Al Ahly, it's not going. It's not a good season for Al Ahly, but I picked out the goal, Nick, because this was a fabulous goal from Nazarit.
Yeah, from a really, it was an awful night for them, but what a strike. If they can take anything out of it, I mean, that's 2-1 at half-time, so that was something, but it didn't end up that way at all. They're struggling. You've got to be brutally honest with them, and they need a spark. I don't know where they're going to get it from, but this is exactly what Chris said there. Both sides will be looking at this thinking, right, come on, here we go, then we get the 3 points and we're off and running. But out of the pair of them there, you think, I'm thinking more towards Qatar.
Give me a prediction then, Nick.
Qatar 2-1.
OK, Chris?
Same.
All right, fantastic. Right, let's head back over to Shadin Wadan, who's going to tell us how they do line up for Week 5, and indeed the league standings after the first 4 rounds.
Thanks, Rodri. So after Week 4, Al Duhail and Al Sadd managed to stay on top of the QMB Stars League in first and second place respectively with 12 points. Salal are in third place with 10 points, Al Rayyan in fourth place with 9 points, the same as Al Siriyah, and Al Gharafa wind up number 6 with 5 points. In the bottom half is Al Khor with 4 points, Qatar Sports Club and Al Arabi in 8th and 9th place with 3 points, Al Kharaitiyat and Al Ahli each with 1 point, and Al Markiyah remain in last place with 0 points. So this is how they line up for Week 5. On Thursday the 19th, Al Kharaitiyat will face Al Gharafa at 19:35 Doha time. On Friday the 20th, Al Siriyah is up against Al Rayyan and Al Khor faces Al Markiyah both at 17:25. The QMB Stars League Derby between Al Arabi and Al Sadd kicks off at the Grand Hamad Stadium at 19:35. Salal will face Al Duhail in the 5th round at the Al Gharafa Stadium on Saturday at 17:25, while later on Qatar Sports Club will face Al Ahli at 19:35.
Thank you, Shadin. Well, we're all set for Week 5. From Nick Summerby, Chris Makin, and myself. Bye for now.